Thanks, Jody. I am super excited for our very first Orkin field trip. We're headed in to the Atlanta Commercial Branch to spend some time with Don Featherstone and his team of account managers that are killing it. Today's topic is going to be, what do you say when the customer says, I already have somebody? So let's go. Good morning. How's everybody? Great. This is pretty cool. I'm really happy to be here. This is our very first Orkin field trip. So let's get started, right? I want to focus today on that moment of truth, that point in time where you're either out cold calling on a customer, you're picking up the phone, you're dialing through, and surprise, 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 they say what to you? They say, I already have somebody. I've had the same guy for the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I'm happy with my pest control service. I had you guys before, you gals before. You were terrible. I had to fire you. You know, the decisions made at corporate headquarters. You ever hear those things? Yeah. Once or twice that comes up. How about like 95% of the time? And if we don't get past this hurdle, inevitably they're going to say that, right? It's going to come out, right? They're going to push that back at you. So what we want you to do is we want you to be prepared. You've worked your tail off to get that magic moment to where you get a chance to ask for that appointment or that inspection, and you don't want to blow it when they give you that first pushback, right? So what can we do? What can we do? So let's talk about that, right? Because there could be 100 of these excuses that they're going to give you, and you all have had some success, so you know that they're out there, so you're overcoming them already. But how can we sharpen our axe just a little bit? What now? I already have somebody, happy with who I have. We don't want to hand them our business card and some silly brochure and say, you know, call me if things don't work out with your current vendor, do we? No. We don't want to do that, right? What should we do? The first thing you should do is relax, because you anticipated this. You expected this to come up, right? And if you haven't expected it to come up, you should by now. Y'all been doing this long enough to know that it happens, right? So it's coming. So don't hit the panic button. Don't get all nerved up and not figure out what to do and just fall back to giving them a business card. Stay in the game. That's what we want you to do. So the first thing you need to do when somebody hits you with that soft kind of push away is acknowledge it, right? And kind of mirror the indifference, you know? And it might be something as simple as, you know, I can appreciate that, ... I understand that. I can certainly understand that. I certainly respect that. I get that, right? I get that. I understand why you think that way. I understand why you might feel that way. So they hit you with that wall goes up. I already have somebody. What do? You kind of soften the blow. You tell them, I get it. It's okay. And then what do you do next, right? Now is where you get your chance to shine. You got to stay in the game now. Most of our salespeople that aren't successful getting places to go and selling bunches of business kind of lose it here. I want you to try to stay in the game. So how do you stay in the game? It might be something as simple. You know me, simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple, stupid. Maybe you say to them, I can certainly understand and appreciate that. That, Mr. Customer, is the very reason you and I should spend 5 minutes together. Do you have 5 minutes now? Is this a convenient time, or would you like me to come back tomorrow? So whatever they tell you, same guy, corporate decisions made corporately, whatever they say, just throw it back up. And that, whatever they tell you when you ask for the appointment, whatever they tell you, that, Mr. Customer or Miss Customer, is the very reason you and I should spend 5 minutes together. Does that make some sense? It really works when you get out there and do it, but it seems so simple. So again, simple, stupid works best for me. It's the one I find to be most effective. Now that may not work the first time, or you may want to find another way around it. So let's look at a couple of more. So you might want to talk about a backup supplier. I can certainly understand and appreciate why you might feel that way. Really what I'm here for is to figure out if we can act as a second source supplier for you. Folks that get to be in your position with companies like this, or owning restaurants like this, or managing hotels, certainly don't get to the levels of achievement that you've reached without having backup sources of supply. May I ask you, who do you have as your backup pest control supplier? I have never had anybody have one. So there's your opportunity. That's really why I'm here. I want to talk to you about that. You have 5 minutes to talk about that. So again, keep it simple, stupid, act as the backup source of supply. And then another approach you might use is, in today's economy, I certainly understand, appreciate that, blah, 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 blah. In today's economy, folks are always looking for a better bang for their buck. When's the last time you sourced your pest control? When's the last time you took this thing out to bid to understand and really kind of benchmark your program with what else is out there? So that's another way to stay in the game. Another one is to kind of switch it up on them. I'm not really here for that. I'm here today to talk to you about the way we've been able to help companies like yours inform their customers, stay ahead and get ahead educational-wise, and what you can do with this Zika virus that's out there pushing itself around, right? So think about that, right? It's very topical. It's very in the moment right now. That's why you're there. How can you educate your employees and help your customers with the Zika virus threat? If you're talking to a hotel, it may be, I'm really only here to kind of help you educate your employees on how to inspect for bed bugs or what to look for. That's all we're looking to do here. And if you're in a restaurant or a bar, small flies may be the approach. I'm really here today, I certainly can understand and appreciate you've had the same guy for 10 years. I'm really here today to talk to you about the small fly problems that become very present this time of year in locations such as yours and how we've been able to help folks in your same situation. Got it? So you just kind of switch it up and figure out which one's most appropriate. And then I think the other one, kind of leaning back on our Victor Antonio training that we get all the time, is get ahead of it. So if you know it's coming, why not say it first? So use humor, right? If it's a cold call, you might knock on the door, you get the audience, you're at that moment of truth, you ask for the appointment. You might say something along the lines, well, Derek, I've been waiting for 3 years for you to call me. I figured you hadn't called, so I figured I better come and knock on your door and say hello. Or I figured I needed to pick up the phone. I've been sitting around waiting for 2 months for you to call me. So think about that approach, using a little bit of humor, relaxing them, saying, hey, then they can't say, I already have somebody, right? They already have somebody. So get ahead of that, use your head. Think through these things. And there's 5 of them here. There are another 5 or 10 that you can put into use. The important thing is that they're practiced and they're professional so that when someone hits you with, I already have somebody, or one of those dust-offs or push-offs, you're ready. You almost start salivating because, if you say that to me, if you say you've had the same guy for 10 years, I know I'm getting an appointment with you. I'm going to get 5 minutes with you. But it takes practice. They got to be really learned and you got to be really good at them. So while you're practicing all your scripts to get that first appointment, practice your script on what you're going to do inevitably when they say, I already have somebody or I'm happy. Make some sense? You guys keep killing it. You are smoking. The first quarter you've got going on here is phenomenal. Keep ringing that bell. Keep being superstars. See you all the next time.